with all that we do not know, that we do not understand, that we do not grasp. Sometimes we are humbled by this knowledge and say, God, it is too wonderful for me to comprehend, but I know this universe is more grand and more beautiful than I ever could have imagined. Sometimes we are saddened by this knowledge and say, oh, merciful Spirit, we need to have the burden of hurt and suffering removed from us. Sometimes we are angered with this knowledge, and we say, in the name of justice and compassion, if it be in our power, give us the strength and ability to right the wrongs, for we do not, nor does any person in the world deserve this. Sometimes we are made joyous by this knowledge, and we say, Spirit of life who blesses our world, we rejoice and cheer for our glorious life. Sometimes we are made curious by this knowledge and say, holy and inexplicable, is this life? I have no idea what happened or how it happened, but somehow, some way, something changed, and I am free to explore new ways of being. Please, always let me continue to search for the unknown in myself and others.
Good morning. There is something, it's okay. There is something deeply human about asking questions. Why is the sky blue? Who am I? Who are we? Why do people hurt each other? Toddlers are notorious for relentless questioning, but at some point, many of us stop questioning and start looking for answers. Immediate answers. School trains us to search for the right answer. The internet and social media are full of experts, truth, and instant certainty. But are they right? How do we know? We live in a society that values answers and experts over curiosity. AI, social media, influencers, leaders, anyone with a platform can claim to have the answers and be certain of the truth. But certainty and wisdom are not the same thing. Wisdom means continuing to search for new truths, asking new questions, and remaining open to growth and change. As a teacher, I know that the institution of school can sometimes crush curiosity. One way we try to cultivate curiosity, creativity, wonder, and flexible thinking is through essential questions. Questions that do not have one correct answer. Questions like you answered today based on our song titles. In math classes, we might ask, when is the right answer wrong? Or how close is close enough? In theater, we ask questions like, what happens when theater artists use their imagination and learned skills to explore new ideas? Or how do our individual backgrounds and choices shape the way we interpret a performance? Do you want to guess which subject lends itself more naturally to flexible and creative thinking? Though honestly, I've gotten some good answers in math too. In answering when is the right answer wrong, one student once argued that although a hamburger technically meets the criteria of a sandwich, it is definitely not a sandwich. I probably should have framed that one through the math lens before asking it. Another answer that was perhaps more thoughtful in the lens of mathematics, when discussing modeling. How close is close enough? One student pointed out that it depends on what we are modeling. Predicting the path of a raindrop versus predicting where a rocket might land Close enough means something very different when the consequences of error are so different. In theater, students are often more willing to think creatively, though I should mention that they're often the exact same students, just in different situations. There are beautiful moments when they realize their own experiences inform the acting choices they make, while another person's interpretation of the same performance depends on that person's lived experiences. We all experience art differently. And how exciting is that? As Unitarian Universalists, we ask ourselves essential questions too. For example, what does it mean to be a leader in the quest for collective liberation? And when should we follow? What does it mean to be a part of a covenant rather than a creed or a contract? These questions require more wondering and pondering than those of simple fact. They ask something deeper than what is 2 + 2 or what is the capital of Massachusetts. Sometimes it is difficult to free our minds enough to truly engage with them. Music, however, creates a space where we are invited to wonder. Whether we are listening through headphones, watching a performance, or performing ourselves, music opens pathways into the human mind, heart, and soul that prose and spoken words alone do not always reach. There's the actual physical experience of sound, vibrations moving through us, combined with melody, rhythm, harmony, structure, and then layered on top of that are the lyrics. Even when we don't understand them, when they're in a language we do not speak, it still evokes feelings. You may mirror the emotion of the composer or performer, or you may experience something entirely different. Either way, you feel something. And sometimes those feelings cause you to think, question, ponder. Debussy's Clair de Lune may make you cry as you imagine the world as it was when that song was composed. Simon and Garfunkel's The Sound of Silence may make you wonder how voices could ever remain unshared, how silence could persist even when people long to connect. Rage Against the Machine's Bulls on Parade may make you want to leap to your feet and protest injustice. Music speaks to us on a different level. It bypasses the analytical part of our brain and speaks directly to our soul. Because of that, it has the power to evoke questioning and reflection. Sometimes it's a literal question in the song. Where have all the flowers gone? Do you believe in life after love? Sometimes it's the suggestion of a question or the impact of a musical passage or phrase. For me, it was Rachmaninoff's Second Piano Concerto, hands down. I know exactly where to place the needle on the record to hear the exact phrase that just moved me beyond words. Some of these questions we revisit over and over throughout our lives. And sometimes the greatest wonder comes when we hear a familiar song years later and suddenly realize that the lyrics mean something entirely different than we thought when we were young, or maybe we even misheard them when we were young and now realize, whoa, that's not what they're saying. With age and experience, we hear music differently. Songs evolve because we evolve. A song that once sounded simple may suddenly reveal grief or longing, resistance, hope, wisdom, something that we could not have yet understood when we first heard it. And that too is a form of questioning. So today, we would like to create a congregational playlist of songs that speak to us. Songs that cause us to wonder, question, ponder. And I'm inviting Stephanie Paquette up to lead us through that.
I just have to find the part. Okay, so we're going to do a short guided meditation to help us remember songs that may have shaped who we are. Do you remember a song that spoke to you on that level? Depends. Here's the centering exercise. Consider a time in your life when music had a profound impact on you. And close your eyes if you feel comfortable doing so. Where are you? Imagine where you're sitting. Are you on a bed or a chair? Are you outside in the grass or sitting on a beach? What season is it? Are you bundled in sweaters and blankets for winter? Or do you feel the warmth of the sun on your face outside in the summer? Think about the songs that you love. Songs that made you feel something. Songs that made you wonder. Focus on one of them. Can you hear it in your mind? Can you remember where you were when you first heard that song? How old were you? Did you immediately love it? Or did it make you feel uncomfortable at first? Come to now, how does it make you feel when you hear it now? Are you pondering the same question as when you were young? Has your understanding of the song changed as you have journeyed through life? Sometimes these memories are difficult to articulate because they do not live in words, but in music and feeling. Listen to your song in your mind. Consider how it makes you feel and what it makes you wonder. We will sit with that for a few moments. Okay, open your eyes when you're ready. What's your song? Take a few moments to share with the people around you, if you're willing. Talk in the pews. Perhaps you can share the memory or a feeling or a question connected to your song. And Patty's going to put up a QR code over here so that you can share your song with us and we can create a coffee hour playlist together. So you may talk.